Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, UFC edition. Today is the UFC Freedom 250 preview episode where we're going to be previewing the UFC 250 event and give our predictions on who's going to win. Our MMA expert's going to give you maybe some parlay tips for this event, and we'll go from there. Speaking of that, we have the fight expert with us, Mr. Chuck Marlowe. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fantastic. It is a pretty good day. Fights are happening, moves are happening, all these divisions. So it's always a good time.
Yeah. Obviously, the main thing for this is talking about the big 250 card. But Chuck, if you want to, what before we get into that, what other things have you been seeing in the fight game recently?
Really just a lot of people are kind of noticing how there's been no women's champion fight so far this year.
Hmm.
There's been no one's fought for a belt this year in the women's division.
Hmm.
But so hopefully they're looking for something to be announced soon. I know they actually, yeah, that was the one that did get announced. Um, I can't remember which one it was because we had called it. We were talking about on the last podcast how there was no women's fight
Hmm.
announced, but I can't remember exactly off the top of my head which one it was that got announced. I think it was Mackenzie Dern and
Yes.
someone else, but I
Hmm.
can't remember who. And I was like, oh, finally, about time. Like, but it's just all these other ones were going through,
Yep.
and they finally got that one. I can't even remember where it's at. I'll find it eventually.
But yeah, you're right. It happened again right when we were done recording the last time. But shoot, let's while you're looking for that, let's get right into it. We're recording on January 3rd, 2026. UFC Freedom 250 actually has its own website too. It is being held Sunday, June 14th. That is next week. This is happening next week, so big deal location, the White House, Washington, D.C., presented by UFC event, UFC Freedom 250. This is straight from their website. About the celebration as part of the nationwide Freedom 250 celebration. UFC Freedom 250 will bring together sports, entertainment, patriotism, and American history for a landmark event at the nation's capital. This historic event represents the bold energy of America's 250th, celebrating the courage, competition, and determination that continues to define the American spirit. All right. Um, Chuck, because I didn't even realize that we don't, this is not very often that we have big UFC cards on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. We never, I don't think we've had a UFC event on a Sunday. I don't want to say ever because I can't remember off the top of my head if there was ever one on a Sunday, but this is the first one I can remember in a long time that they've ever had an event on a Sunday. I mean, usually you might have your cards that are in different countries that are technically like on a Friday night because it starts at like 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. prelims on a Friday night because they're overseas and it's technically on a Saturday, but you got to kind of stay up in order to watch them. But never anything else really outside of a Saturday have we ever really seen. So big things, I guess. It's that big where they have to hold it on a Sunday.
So my thing with that, holding this on a Sunday, and maybe they're trying to treat it like a Super Bowl S, but Sunday for UFC is tough because these things, I know they're usually on the West Coast and it goes a while. I know this is supposed to start 8 p.m. EST, but are people as, and obviously we can't predict because knockouts and all that thing, but if this goes later, people going to be up to watch it on a Sunday when they got work and stuff the next day?
I mean, for the people who really want to watch fights, they'll stay up till 12
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
They'll stay up. They're going to stay up. I mean, you punch in at 7 o'clock the next day, wake up at 6. You hope you got enough time to get everything done. You go to bed at probably 1 o'clock. 5 hours of sleep should be solid. Get an energy drink in the morning. That's what's going to happen for most of those people who stay up to watch anyway.
Right. Right. No. I was thinking more for the casuals because this thing is going to be like promoted like, oh, this is part of America 250 where we're having this first
Yeah,
ever event like the casuals because that's what they really want to draw in for this to get a big rating. Are they going to stay up for this thing on a Sunday night? Do people even realize this is on Sunday? I'm pretty sure there's some people who still think this is going to be on Saturday.
I can guarantee you there's some people who definitely still believe it's going to be on a Saturday.
Mhm.
But with it being on a Sunday, I mean, you're probably going to have a lot of Sunday night baseball. You're
Mhm.
going to have your other sporting events that happen usually on Sundays. There's no finals on a Sunday. Now, if the finals were on a Sunday, that's definitely going to interfere with it. I can
Mhm.
guarantee you that it would definitely bring the ratings down. But with there not being anything like super major right now at the time, that I think will still get the draw.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that's good.
And
Good.
also, I looked into it. It was Mackenzie Dern and Gillian Robertson who
Okay.
was announced for UFC 330.
Okay. 3:30. Okay. 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 Yeah. I mean, because like you said, there hasn't been a women's championship match in God knows how long.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we were supposed to have Amanda and Kayla, and then you had the whole neck incident and injury. So I can understand why that one got called off, but for it to be that long and still not get anything else announced in between, then it was kind of like, all right.
Right. All right. Well, let's go right through the card, man. Let's get your thoughts. We'll work from the bottom all the way up. At the bottom, we got the featherweight bout. We got Diego versus Steve Garcia. Looks like they don't have the odds yet, but who you liking in this one?
I'm liking Diego Lopez. I think this is after Diego went up for the belt a few times against Volk, couldn't get it. Uh, I think he really needs to kind of still prove himself now at this point because it's like, all right, you can't get to the belt, but what else can you do in this
Mm-hmm.
division? And you're gonna have to be someone who's gonna be a gatekeeper at this point until you can get good enough and confident enough to beat the man holding the belt at featherweight. So I definitely like Diego. I think he should be able to do enough. Steve Garcia, don't count him out. He's not um really, I'm not going to say he's not a fighter that you should just take for granted, but he's still someone you kind of want to just be a little, you want to be a little bit on edge for because he could sleep him. I mean, it happens all the time in these fights, but I still believe that Diego has the chance to weather the storm and get what he needs to get done. He needs to look sharp, be a gatekeeper, not let Steve Garcia rise up in the featherweight division and really lock in.
I like it. I like it, Diego over Steve. Then you go up to the middleweight bout. You got Kyle versus Bo Nickel. Who do you got there?
For Kyle Dawkins and Bo Nickel, it's hard to kind of count against Bo Nickel because right now he's still on that confident tear in that division in middleweight, and I know he hasn't had the fights previously that people thought he was going to have. He still is using this wrestling pretty good. I just want to see what he can do against some striking in Kyle Dawkins, but I still got Bo in this one. I would take this one to end up maybe potentially making it to decision unless Bo could sink in like say like some type of submission from wrestling. I could see that other being the other method of finish.
Mhm.
But for Bo, I think he came off the win against Vera. Then he had lost against I think De Ritter before that. So he has something a little bit still to prove because that loss to De Ritter was pretty bad to where it's like, all right, we thought he was kind of a little bit unstoppable,
Mhm.
but I think he should be able to get it done against Kyle.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I think he's at what a minus 310 right now,
Mhm.
favorite.
Okay. I like it. I like it. What about Roof going up to the next lightweight bout? Roofy versus Michael Chandler.
Yeah, so this is one where you get into it. It's like, all right, this one's kind of funny to me because Mauricio Rufy is always described as like a Conor McGregor 2.0. And
Ooh, okay.
for that whole hype for Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor and that never to happen, for him to end up fighting Mauricio Rufy out of all people is it's kind of funny.
Hmm.
But this is a good matchup. As always, Michael Chandler's going to come in. He's going to be in shape. He's going to be focused and locked in. But Mauricio has been looking good ever since he's left the Fighting Nerds camp. No offense to the Fighting Nerds. I don't think that there's anything wrong with what they were doing there. I just think that he wanted to go and do his own thing. And ever since then, he's looked a little bit sharper. Like the last one against Fiziev was pretty good, and he outstruck him and got the finish against him. And then he had lost to Benoit Saint Denis, I believe, before. And then that's when he had left the Fighting Nerds. And then for Charles, or not Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, he's coming off of three losses though. So he's coming off the loss to I think Poirier, Oliveira, and Pimblett.
Hmm.
And so his last win I think was against Tony Ferguson, which Ferguson is retired. He lost to Gaethje I think before that. So Michael Chandler's got kind of a lot to prove here because yes, he comes out and he puts on spectacles, and that's what people love about him. This would be a fight that I would say is for the casual because they're both going to be trying to take each other's heads off. Michael Chandler in every single fight, that's his problem though. He's trying to take someone's head off. And if he can do what he needs to do is probably work a lot of the wrestling and take him down to the ground. It's not going to be an entertaining fight if he does that. But I know Michael Chandler, he's a man of the people, and all he wants to do is just put on a show, especially in this environment is where he would thrive and he would really want to just make sure he's dying on his shield pretty much. And he might have to die on his shield with someone like a striker like Mauricio Rufy in front of him. So I definitely think this fight isn't going the full 3 rounds. So I would take this one to not go to a finish or not to go to the end of the fight or decision. And I think I still have to lean towards Mauricio Rufy, just because his striking is so good. And I think he's a minus 625 favorite right now. So I really
So,
don't like it for the odds, but maybe I would take him by like finish or decision double method because you always get like the 30% boost for winning methods. I
mhm.
usually stack those on the winning methods or the double method, sorry. And then so I would do like KO or decision because maybe this fight might go the full distance, but if not, this fighter's going to probably win by knockout. That's kind of the logic I use towards those ones.
If Rufy, this is big White House stage. Rufy wins this. You just talked about some people might think he's the next, could potentially be a Conor McGregor type. He's 13-2 right now. If he wins, that'd be 14-2. Does he then get a shot at the title?
But the lightweight division,
Hmm.
uh, I'm trying to think. Ooh, yeah, that's tough. Ilya, he's going to definitely make a call out to Ilya since that's the main event. But I got to think of some other fighters ahead of him in the division right now. I'm sorry, I'm gonna look at the rankings because I don't know if there's anyone that he can actually get past right now. Not saying like he's not a good enough fighter, but I just don't know who might be holding him up because I know Armand's going to want to fight for that belt soon. He's going to go for it at the card. You
Hmm.
got Holloway and Oliveira still up there, Pimblett and Benoit Saint Denis, and Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's kind of meh. He'll probably jump Dan Hooker in the
Hmm.
rankings if he wins. Probably somehow jump over Benoit Saint Denis too. I don't know if he'll jump over Patty though. I think he should, but I don't know. That puts him at 5, and he's going to have to fight one of those top 2 to 4 people, which would be Armand, Charles, or Max. And then maybe I say a title because Max is scheduled to fight Connor now. So depending on how that goes, who knows what else could happen in that lightweight division?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. It'll be very interesting to see.
Or maybe
Uh,
Connor versus Mauricio. Matter of fact, if you compare him to him so much. That's the next fight if he wins against Max.
Yeah, now we're talking. That's something. Next fight, we got a heavyweight fight. We got Josh versus, I think, basically a fan favorite, people champion type, Derek Lewis.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I'm not gonna say it yet. We'll see how Derek comes out there. I just I love what he Josh Hokett's trying to do for the sake of the UFC and what he's trying to bring to the table. He's a good fighter. I mean, I'm sure, trust me, I don't get me wrong. I think he's a great fighter. I just don't like how I saw Derek Lewis in that last fight versus Cortez Acosta.
Mhm.
He looks so just gas, lazy, just not like the Derek Lewis that you there's a certain version of Derek Lewis you can tell when he's going to win. He comes in motivated, he's in great shape. He's like you could just tell he's locked in. That
Right.
Cortez Acosta fight, he looked like he was still that version of his locked in self a little bit. And
Hmm.
then just to get that lazy and just off of his game and just he was like I remember in between the round or not in between the rounds, but sometimes in the match he was sitting there just laying on his back, not getting up because he was so tired. I'm like, bro, this is not what you can be doing, and you're portraying a poor. That's what gets 10-8 rounds happening pretty much sometimes because your body language is just saying, I'm getting my ass whooped, help me get up.
Hmm.
But Josh Hokett's been electrifying. His win against Curtis Blades, that was a great fight. I mean, those two were throwing it out. I think there was over 200 significant strikes landed in that
Hmm.
fight, and they were just throwing. And if he can take hits like that, I don't know. I think he could get past Derek, but it's also on the counter and it's working against him where he's coming off of a war pretty much.
Right.
So his chin is a little bit tested and it's a little bit easier to get knocked out once you've been through a war. So I don't know. That one's kind of a toss up to me, but I definitely say it's I feel like it's not going to go the full three. It's not going to go the full distance. Either Derek Lewis is going to get gassed out and tired and finish, or he could knock him out in between the rounds. So I say knockout finish. You could just use that as the parlay. Don't even pick a winner. Because
Fair
right
enough.
now, Josh Hokett is a minus 345. It'll be good in a parlay with other people and stuff if you're doing money lines. But if you're just trying to not even trying to pick a winner, you can just do that also.
Gotcha. Who do you have in the Sean O'Malley fight?
I got
Banterweight
Sean.
bout.
I got Sean. I'm not even I, I'm not saying that in a bad way against Zahabi, but that's probably the wrong pronunciation because I can never say it right. But I think Sean's motivated. He's ready to he's ready to just get back to that bantamweight belt. So I hope he's got his confidence back. It looks like he has his confidence back. That one I don't have to go too much into depth with, but I just think that Sean's gonna outstrike him. He's either gonna win by knockout or decision.
Okay. 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 I like it. I like it. Now we're moving into some of the another heavyweight bout, interim title bout. Alex Pereira, first fight as a heavyweight, versus Cyril Gane, who I get so annoyed gets every opportunity in the world, it seems like. Um,
He must have dirt on Dana.
because I was like, he just fought Jones, he just fought the other one, Tom Aspinall. Who do you got in this one, Chuck?
I don't like how Cyril Gahn looked against Tom Aspinall, man. He looked sharp. He looked sharp. He looked a little bit more motivated, a little bit more locked in because he knew what he was going for. I don't know. This one, I feel like the odds are kind of wrong, but also right.
Mhm.
It's a real close one. I think so. It's right now minus 112 favorite to Cyril Gain. And then Alex Pereira is a minus 108. So like this one's a toss up, and I can see why it's a toss up. But Alex Pereira, heavyweight. He had knockout power at middleweight.
Hmm.
Oh, this one is tough because I really don't like how sharp Cyril looked. But I'm gonna go Alex. I think this one, either way, if you don't want to pick a winner, pick knockout by that has to be the method of finish. So I don't, or you could put that this isn't going to decision. You could make sure that I feel like that one might be a little bit hard to put on because they probably had that at like a minus 300 or a minus 400. So if you want to do safe bet, try maybe 4.5 or 4 rounds. It's going to be a little bit close if you pick to not start round 4 or 5, but that's a little bit of a toss up.
Mm. I just,
Who do you have? I want to know who do you think out of these based off of what you've seen them doing lately?
unfortunately, because I really don't want to pick Don, but this is Alex's first fight. Maybe if Alex had some more in heavyweight, like I would pick him. I mean, I want Alex to win, but I honestly think Gon's gonna win, man, just because of off of experience
I could
at
see
fighting
that
at
too, though.
heavyweight.
I could see that too. Yeah, that one. That's why it's a toss up to me. But it's hard to bet against Alex.
And if Alex
But
does
it's just
win, I, if he wins his first match at heavyweight for an interim title, obviously he's gonna have to combine the whatever the other one with Tom. But if Alex wins at heavyweight, the John Jones fight's gonna happen.
has to happen.
Yeah, if he can win his first match at heavyweight, yeah, it's happening.
Dana's going to demand it.
Yeah.
He said, "You want to go fight Francis? This is what you got to do for me.
Yep. Yep.
Come
It's
fight
happening.
Alex first, and then you can go fight." I don't know. That's the thing though. I just don't know because Cyril he does look so sharp. Alex does have a little bit of a weathered chin, but putting on the weight should help. Just this is such a that's a tough one. That's why I say just pick knockout people. Sometimes it's the easiest way to pick them. Don't even pick a winner. Just pick certain things that you know might happen in the fight because sometimes those odds are pretty slim, like minus 270s, and you can parlay those together.
Gotcha. That'll be interesting. Oh boy. And then I guess the main event, Ilya versus Justin Gaethje, lightweight title bout. Who you got?
I just want to, before I start this one, I just
Hmm.
want to say props to Ilya and what he's trying to do and bring to the UFC. It's a
Hmm.
little bit cheesy, but he had a promo pretty much of all the recent fighters that he had knocked out. And it was like he was holding a funeral for them.
Hmm.
And it was a great promo. And then it's just like saying that he's going to add Justin Gaethje pretty much next in that list. And I just don't know. I've seen Gaethje take some hits, but that's also the same thing. It's I've seen Justin Gaethje take some hits. It's hard to count against this guy right now. This man Ilya is just I don't know how he's doing it right now. His just his demeanor in there has been so good. His
Hmm.
accuracy has been good, just catching people on the chin. If you watch some of the fights and see some of the hits that he's taken, he has a chin, low key. And because a lot of the time, most people don't catch some of the punches that he takes. He's been taking some punches. But I've just seen Justin Gaethje do so much also when he's pretty much close to being knocked out.
Hmm.
And that's why it's so hard to bet against him. And so I'm I you can't I don't know if I can just stop the 17-0 train either though. It's got to be Ilya. Either way, you can also pick this one to finish by knockout. That's if you don't feel confident in Ilya, you can always pick just finish by knockout. But I'm gonna ride with Ilya. I think he sends him to the gulag, and gets it done. Probably round two or three, honestly.
And I'm pretty sure America, they're gonna want Justin to win since he's from the United States.
Yeah, but it don't always work that way, as you can see how by the titles right now. I saw a funny video and they were like it was the White House. They had cut the promo and it said, "We want you," or no, "We want," or "America wants you for champion," or something like that. And they're like, America doesn't even have a champion at UFC 250 fighting with the belt. And if you look at most of the belts that are held in the UFC, it's not a lot of Americans holding the belt right now. And we need to figure out why that's happened. Well, I know one of the reason why is all these, well, it used to be because all the Dagestani wrestlers, but um, right now it's just everyone's better than us right now at fighting for some reason. So
Wait,
we'll
is
see how that goes.
UFC if UFC going through the same thing with like the NBA where the past like there hasn't been an American born MVP in ages?
Yeah, we're getting cooked right now. I mean, well, okay, never mind. We got Sean Strickland. We got Sean Strickland now, but
Who is not probably he's not gonna be at the event.
he said he's flying to the event and he's protesting at the event. That was his recent announcement. Actually, yeah, that was something I did want to talk about. Um, he did say he's flying to the UFC 250 and he's going to be protesting. Actually, never mind. He won't be attending it. He's been banned. He did say he's going to try and he said he was going to try and go there and protest still though. But I remember he is banned from there apparently now.
Oh dear.
And that was as of today. Or no. Yeah, today.
Well,
But
well,
he was only banned because he wanted to go there and protest the event because there's no American born fighters for the belt. Like with belts, he wanted to go fight there after just fighting, apparently. I don't know.
Chuck, we just went through this card, man. Obviously, we talked about a podcast ago how when it first got announced, people were just like, where are the big names? Where's John Jones? Where's Connor? Yada yada. Then we said that, hey, if you didn't have so much hype for it or expectations, you saw the card, it was a pretty good card. Now we just previewed the card. Next time we're going to be back as reviewing the card. How are you feeling with a week left before this card? Like, how are you feeling about this card now?
Oh, let's see. 7 fights, no prelims, no early prelims. That's the only thing that makes me sad about it. I know it's an event and it's part of the spectacle of UFC 250, but sucks that it's 7 fights to me a little bit for it to be like a main event thing, but I guess it's a one of a the kind type of deal. So I still like the fights at least. I like the matchups. I like what they did here. I think it's going to be a really good card. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to get bonuses because there's you get submission bonuses. So either way, if you get submission or knockout, you get a bonus. You get a performance bonus, and you could probably get a fight of the night bonus also. So there's going to be a lot of people trying to make names for themselves because this will be one of the most biggest viewed UFC spectacles probably since it's on a Sunday night and it's supposed to be tied to this. So I think it's going to bring some draw in here either way. And I think that it's a pretty good card. You got 2 good title fights. You have some great fights scheduled before then with a lot of fighters that are ranked. Um, and they're going to be fighting for something and trying to fight for title fights. None of these people are out of title fight mention. I wouldn't say they're title fight contenders, but they're not out of title fight mention.
Okay.
So I think it's overall good. I think my overall prediction for what it will be is a B plus A minus type of event.
Yeah, and I think that'll be possible passable for this type of White House thing, and obviously we don't know. There could be some knockouts, things like that. Um, but I agree, man. Like when it first, like I already said, first came out, everyone hated it. Then people calmed down. Now just going through some of these names, it's like I am intrigued to watch this card. I'm intrigued to see how they do this in front of the White House. It's
Yeah,
going to be a.
apparently he wants to keep that up on the he wants to keep it up on the White House lawn. He likes how it looks.
It's crazy, but we'll see how this goes, and I'm excited to watch it. I am. I am. I'll be excited to review it a couple days after it's done, and as our day of recording, it's next week. Like it felt like it was forever ago. We were talking about that when the card got announced, and now we're a week ahead before it comes out.
Yeah, no, time does fly, and you're right. Like I feel like we were just talking about what it could be, and then we saw what it was, and then just to get here, and it's already close to around the clock corner. It's going to be interesting for sure.
All right, Chuck. Anything else, man?
Keep an eye out for the L7C Arizona State Dynasty and the overall dynasty. There's a lot of good games going. We're about to die out probably and get into 27 once that comes out. So there'll be a lot of new content probably around the corner in about a month or so.
Yeah. And with that being said, thank you all for listening to the L7C podcast. I forgot to say, starting my new thing that I was going to say, the L7C podcast, your favorite podcast. And with that being said, y'all take care. We'll be back for the UFC 250 review. Signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.